Hey guys, welcome back to another Swiss001 video. And don't know, it's another old plane. Today we're gonna talk about the Bréguet 763 Deux-Ponts, which is a double-decker. Now, how should I even start with this? So this plane is from the French manufacturer of planes called Bréguet, which is very dead now. It's totally bankrupt, obviously. Fun fact, these days there is a watch manufacturer called Bréguet, which is actually from Switzerland, and their watches are very luxurious. I mean, they make watches for several hundred thousands of dollars, but that's a whole nother story. Now, yes, as I've already said, this is a Deux-Ponts, which is two bridges when you translate it, Deux-Ponts, which makes sense since this is a double-decker. Okay, this actually kind of is amazing, and this actually was a real thing. This thing flew for Air France, and it's quite amazing. Now, this plane was introduced in 1949, which is quite a long time ago, and it was retired in 1971, which actually does not sound too bad. I mean, that's a solid 20 years of service, so that's actually quite good. So maybe this plane was very safe and good, I guess. Now, around 20 of these aircraft were built, and the only airline that had it in service was Air France, and also the French military used it. So yeah, it didn't find too many customers, which is quite sad. Air France mostly used this plane to fly between, I think, Algiers, which is in North Africa, and the south of France. So they were flying over the Mediterranean Sea. I don't know. Now, meanwhile, let's just go ahead and fly. Let's hop into the cockpit. This does not look like a very good cockpit. Actually, this is quite sad. We are in Microsoft Flight Simulator right now. Now, actually, I wanted to record this video in X-Plane because that is so much better. And the Deux-Ponts in the X-Plane even features a 3D cockpit, so we could have, explored a bit more. And there are even people inside of the cabin, but I'm having some technical difficulties. Now, here we are. Let's try to take off. And this is maybe the first issue of this aircraft. Damn, those engines are not powerful at all. Jesus Christ, oh goodness. We are not able to take off out of here. Actually, I did forget flaps, but still. Like, we even have A340s and 747s fly at this airport, so I think a small plane like this should kind of be able to take off without any type of issues out of this airport, but we are about to crash. Yep, that is bad. That is really bad. We are genuinely slow. 130 knots. Okay, but we're still alive, actually. That's kind of cool. I kind of do like this plane. This does look kind of cool, doesn't it? Now, maybe let's talk about some specifications. So on the top deck, on the second deck, or whatever you want to call it, this thing seated 59 passengers, and on the lower deck, it seated 48 passengers, which quite is an amount. I mean, 100 passengers. I mean, we have to consider this plane came out in the 50s. Wow. Even in the 40s, didn't it? Yeah, in the 40s. Now, maybe let's talk about why this plane kind of failed. So the thing is, even though 1949 was quite early for aviation, slowly jet engines were becoming a thing, and as you can most probably tell, I hope, this thing does not have jet engines. And at around the time of the release of this aircraft, the double-decker, another French airplane manufacturer introduced the Caravelle, which I've actually talked about before on this channel, which was one of the first jet airliners, and it was kind of cool. It worked, it flew, it did not crash. It crashed 50% of the time, but not 100% of the time, which is good, which rendered this thing kind of obsolete. End of the story. But maybe we can call this quite a safe aircraft. Actually, we had 0 fatal crashes of this aircraft. There was one crash, but no one actually was harmed on that crash. So this might actually be one of the safest old planes. I mean, we only had like 20 of these aircraft built, but yeah. Actually, a few days ago, we talked about the Caravelle, and pretty much 50% of the fleet was destroyed. 0 fatal crashes is quite good. Can we please go back into the cockpit or something? Why cannot I do this? Oh, FSX has actually died on me now. That was weird, but we are back alive again, I hope. Now, really, I cannot hate this aircraft. I mean, I've never seen one in real life, but this does not look too bad, does it? Oh god, we have actual pilots in this one. No, actually, you should never really put people in planes. It's never a good idea, even though they're quite funny, but kind of disturbing sometimes. Now, we are taking off with very low speed. And the reason I cannot even deploy flaps is because I don't know how to do that, since I don't really know the keyboard controls here, but it's just, come on, don't die, please. This is gonna be close. This is gonna be close. No, water. Oh, yeah. Yeah, we're dead. Now, actually, this plane, I mean, after all, there is not too much to say about this plane. Maybe we can talk a bit about the design of this one. As you can see, we have quite a weird structure here. As you can see, instead of one vertical stabilizer, we have like a double vertical stabilizer configuration here with rudder, obviously, as you can see right here, which maybe makes this plane look even weirder than it already does. But I mean, look at that body. That is so thick. I mean, I kind of do wonder how this plane is able to fly, but as you can see, it's barely even able to fly. Yeah. Oh, don't die, please. Have a smooth... yeah. This shows how realistic FSX is again. Now, obviously, since this is a very old plane, we have a lot of old gauges here, no screens. We've kind of lost control, haven't we? I mean, this thing is barely even able to control. I'm banking all the way to the left on my joystick. It's not doing anything pretty much. This plane is flying straight as a candle. And actually, in the video about the Carver, I was wondering what this string is. You can see this kind of string on pretty much every old aircraft, and it turns out to be an antenna. That's kind of all that is to it, which I pretty much imagined it to be. So yeah, it's not too special, but I do like the design. Oh, we have died again. I do like the design of the gear retraction, kind of. And as you can see, the main gear holding area, whatever, is actually inside of the engines, which is quite cool. We don't really have that today. We only have landing gear that is retracted into the actual fuselage of the plane, which might be boring. I mean, I kind of do like the Q400 just because, you know, the gear is retracted into the engines, which looks very cool. And we are turning into a boat again. I mean, this thing pretty much looks like a whale or something. We're dying again because we have zero control, which actually was the cause on one of this aircraft's crashes. But again, it was not a fatal crash, so who cares after all. Now, there are only 3 aircraft. Now, right now, there are only 3 aircraft that are still alive and not scrapped yet. You can find all those in France. Actually, one of these 3 is used as a restaurant. I do kind of want to visit that one, but yeah, that's another topic, I guess. Now, this plane was used in military to transport nuclear stuff, which is quite interesting. I mean, I don't know how this plane can be used as a cargo plane. I mean, you would have 2 cargo decks, which would be cool, I guess. But yeah, I mean, why not? Now, I would really like to show the interior of this plane, but again, it's not possible due to technical problems. I cannot use the better simulator called X-Plane. The controls on this plane are completely dead for some reason. That's super weird. Now, actually, so far, I kind of do like this plane quite a lot. I mean, it's safe. It's not dangerous, which I've already meant by saying that it's safe. It's kind of ugly. I mean, yeah, it is indeed kind of ugly. And have I mentioned that it's safe? You know, that's all not too bad, is it? I also kind of like the door design here. And this is how the plane looks from the inside, as you can see right here. You probably entered the underdeck via a door here. And to get into the upper deck, you have to walk up these stairs, and then you're in the upper deck, I guess. So, yeah, guys, thank you for watching today's video. And I'll see you tomorrow. As always, good night.